Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Julie Mann and I show people how they can create healthy, happy, sustainable lives. And I'm absolutely delighted because today I'm joined by Annie Jameson. Hi Annie.
Hi Julie, this is fun.
I know, it's really good to see you. So for those of you that don't yet know who Annie is, she works as a sound healer, a crystal bowl musician, and she's also an intuitive. So before we get into all of that, I just really like to start, Annie, with your childhood, because I'm really wondering, as a young girl, were you influenced by sound? Can you remember?
Not by sound, but I was very influenced by my mother, but she wasn't into sound. But she was an extraordinary woman, way, way ahead of her time. And so I was brought up with Christianity and spirituality. And it allowed me to be free. And I feel that is what has been the greatest gift in my entire life, even though as a child, you don't know that. And teenage years were not easy, as they probably aren't, and you want to be everything unlike your mother, because she was so way ahead of time in the way that she realized how the universe worked, and just positive thinking. She was a real positive thinker. But no, music, I mean, I was very musical. My grandmother was very musical, and she really encouraged me with music. She was a wonderful piano player. So that was really my favorite subject at school, music. Probably the only thing that I actually paid attention to, which my friends at school would probably verify that. I was always in the music room playing.
So you would play the piano?
Yeah, I played the piano. I mean, there was no other real option then. So I don't even remember them being violins at school. I don't actually remember that, but yes, piano was my instrument. But then when I left school, I didn't really follow that.
Okay. So what kind of challenges do you remember having as you were growing up? And how did you deal with them? Challenges that maybe nothing to do with your musical ability, but just generally.
Yeah, I was very shy. Amazing. Now, I was very shy in thinking I could step out there, like I would be more in quiet, not so much at school, but yeah, I didn't have the confidence. I wasn't academic. That wasn't my thing. And, at school, that's a big thing. Academia seems to be at the top of the list well, in those days, there wasn't anything else really. So yeah, I did really well in music, and that was my, you hold on to something that I suppose you're good at and you can excel at, and that's your sort of thing. And then as I was growing up, yeah, I wobbled and, through those teenage years. And it wasn't till later, when I was in 1991, when I was sort of my late 20s, that I really began to think, oh my gosh, my life, what am I doing with my life? It's not quite going as I plan. And I need to really pull back and actually anchor that spirituality. I knew that there was something else that was missing, because I grew up in that environment, and then you do the teenage, you have to sort of battle against it. I know when my boys were teenagers, you have to sort of move away from your family, your mum or your mother to grow. And so it's like, and then you realize, oh, actually, they did know something. They were onto it. And, and that's when I had, and that's when I had my sort of biggest experience of my life then.
So tell us about that big experience.
Okay, so then I wanted to connect with a very high energy. My mother was extremely clairvoyant, and I knew that was not the area that I wanted to be. It was a bit scary. And so I invited my guardian angel. I was very drawn to angels. I read a little book about angels, and they said you can connect. And so I I would meditate at the end of my bed, every day, like this. Didn't really know what I was doing. And I then invoked and invited on this one particular day, which was the 9th of the 1st, 1991. But I do not remember if I chose that date as a date. It was all 9s and 1s. It's just a fluke in my mind. And I invited my guardian angel to come close to me and anchor themselves deep in my presence. I wasn't random about it. Didn't want any old spirit or anyone to come near me. I just wanted that angelic presence. And I had this immense sensation now, which is coming through my body, came through my body, and my ears unblocked and clicked. And then I could suddenly hear clairaudiently. And I heard the name Chileo. I asked the name, I heard Chileo, I saw the spelling clairvoyantly, could see the spelling. And from that moment in 1991, I began to receive, I would say messages, but information. I would always ask and then I would receive. So it wasn't a random thing, I was always very tuned in. I would invite and then I would receive. And I did this, sorry.
But would you always invite the same angel?
Yes, I would always invite the same angel, and I would invite Chileo to come close. And I found that I could ask any question personal to me, because obviously that's all I knew then. I would ask personal to me. And then I would write, and then I would read what I wrote, and I thought, gosh, it's a bit wise. And I found that I could do that, and I'd try it again the next night. And I thought, oh, this is extraordinary. And I didn't tell anyone. You keep that kind of thing to yourself. Finally, I showed my mother, and she was, like, what took you so long? What took you so long in your life to get your act together? However, that has now been nearly 30 years of tuning in like that. And it has been the most transforming, life-changing event, because not only am I able to do that, which is wonderful, but I'm able to bring in the higher perspective. So not just in this earthly plane, we get a very narrow view of what's, we just see here, like I see you, we have this very narrow view, but from a higher perspective, we see the whole picture. And from that, when you read the writing, you realize there's no ego in it. And then you know that it's not you. Because me, I wouldn't say, I don't speak like that. I don't even speak like that. And so that was a huge, it was a huge step for me to realize that there was a greater energy and a greater picture and a greater force. Now, I also have such a belief that there is something greater than me, in life. And so therefore, I've been given that vision now. I can sort of see a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Not always. One can still be in one's very little self and scared and anxious and what have you, but then you can step into that on another day, a better day.
You are only human after all. But
exactly.
There will be some people watching and they're thinking, what on earth is Annie talking about? Chileo, what's she on about? I mean, I've heard of some, the angel Gabriel, the kind of the ones that most people know about. But Chileo, what is, each angel, so I believe, has got specific things that it does. So
well, this feels, sorry.
Go on. So I just wondering.
This to me is my guardian angel. So I believe, this is only my belief, that we each have an angel that is with us through our earthly life. I believe that the greater part of ourselves is in spirit anyway. This is a very, very small part here on earth, and we're very privileged to be on earth, and we're the only ones on earth who can take the action. We are the ones here. So that is what I heard, Chileo, and I saw it, and that is what I invoke and bring in. And so I write, and my husband has this funny thing when I So after 16 years of writing, just for myself, nobody else, just for me and my family, I heard one day my husband was out. No, he was on a conference. Often things happen when he's on a conference, because then I haven't got the distraction. And I heard, I was tidying up my room and I was in an Eeyore sort of mood, and the kids were going crazy, and it was probably raining, like it was a day like that. And I had all the black plastic bags out, throwing away rubbish, like, I've got to sort all this out. And my writing was in my side table that I've read over the years. I mean, it wasn't anything new. But as I picked it up to tidy it up, I heard, this needs to go into print now. And I went, what? No chance of that. I'm not a writer. That is major scary. So I pushed it back in the drawer, shut the door, went to try and do something else, trying to distract. But you try and run away from that. All weekend, all I heard, it was like a repetitive record. This needs to go into print, and it's over and over again, until Michael came home and he found me at 5 o'clock in the morning. He said, what are you doing? And in those days, I didn't even use a computer. I'm of that era. We didn't know how to use a computer. And I was trying to tap it out onto the, I said, oh, I'm writing a book. And he went, oh. and then anyway, then just as it was about to come, so then I went through the process of printing. Just before it was going to come out, major panic. Major. You're putting your whole self out there, like, what? And I said to my husband, oh my God, no, let's just cancel the printing and everything. And he said, it needs to go out there. We know it's not you, it's far too wise. So there we go. And so I took that step, and from that point, I have never ignored, over all of these years, I've not ignored when I've been given, so I suppose, more of a life task to do. I pay attention, because I look back and the track record of what I have been shown has been in harmony with me to share with other people.
Wonderful. I know your husband is actually a doctor, isn't he? So
yeah,
he's a general.
Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, he was brought up. His mother was very spiritual, and his father was a doctor. So, as he says, his mother got to him first, as mothers do. So we have a spiritual belief that we have the same spiritual belief.
Though he also has a grounding in science, because that's part of being a doctor.
And he's very grounded, yes, which people like me need.
Yeah, I need grounding people as well. So tell us a little bit about sound healing, Annie. Why is, in your opinion, can you explain what it is and why you think it's so powerful?
Okay, so if you told me 15 years ago I'd be doing this, I'd be saying, crikey, that's crazy. So yeah. So I've been playing crystal bowls for the last 10 years, and I had heard my first bowl 30 years ago in London as it's in a meditation. So it wasn't something that I had on my radar. This is what I will be doing as I go into my wisdom years. That wasn't something that I had planned. But after my first crystal bowl came, I used to do auric healing, and a lot of the healers would use the Tibetan bowls, which are metal bowls. And, they're beautiful, and they're made with prayer. They're beaten, the metals are beaten with prayer, with intention. And so they would use those, but I couldn't play them. And I thought, that's not going to heal anyone with me screeching around, because I just couldn't get, I don't know, it wasn't very nice anyway. And then I received the message from Jalea that actually crystal was my energy. And so I got my husband to bring back a bowl from Glastonbury to New Zealand, because now we're in New Zealand. And he didn't know what he was bringing back. And when he opened it, I was excited, but everyone just looked at it like, what? This, white crystal bowl, like what's that all about? But then I played it, I tapped it actually, and it has the most amazing resonance. And they all went, oh. And I said, I have a feeling there's going to be more of these bowls coming here. And Michael said, well, where will they go? Well, now they live everywhere. They used to be in the bedroom. They used to be, taken over. Now the kids have left home. Of course, bowls have taken, taken up space. But it wasn't so much that first bowl. It was after then I started to collect bowls, crystal bowls, because I wanted the harmonies. I didn't want just one note. That's just me, because I'm musical. I thought, oh, if I add another one. And then I started to feel that people who came to listen, or I listened, most importantly, actually, it was me. I went, wow, I feel in such a different space after playing and after listening. And I noticed that when people came here, within 5 minutes, it's a very short time, because if you try and meditate for 5 minutes, the brain and mind's still going blah, blah. But I found that, oh my gosh, everyone is just like drops. And so then I began to work more at it. And so it's through a passion of just, growing and understanding with them and seeing what they can do. The potential is unlimited, literally unlimited. It seems to work with babies and teenagers and adults and animals, and because it's a vibration, it's just a vibration. Quartz crystal has a vibration that resonates with us. We have crystalline substance in our brain, and so we resonate, and we've got 70% water. We're very receptive as a vessel. We're very receptive to sound. And as we all know, if we have the 1812 overture, like this on edge, activates you, and you're not sure what's coming next. With the crystalline vibrations, they bring that the ancient brain into a place of peace. And then your whole being goes, okay, I'm safe. I'm safe to relax now. And because, as all of us, we can hold on so tight. I've had people come here that have found it quite challenging to relax, and they go, I can't let myself go that deep. I've never experienced that in my life. How can you just go like that? But it's so nourishing for your soul. It's so nourishing for yourself.
Yes, I mean, I can absolutely agree with you, Annie, because about 2 weekends ago, somebody that I knew had a baby shower. And the baby shower involved this woman coming along with her crystal bowls, and there was about 15, 17 of us, and we were lying on the floor, and she just played these amazing crystal bowls, and it was just the most extraordinary experience. And there were quite a few pregnant women there, and it was just absolutely beautiful. But one of the things that struck me was, they take up loads of space, and for anyone who's watching that doesn't really know what a crystal bowl looks like, you can see them on the shelf behind Annie. But the other thing is, she told me they're thousands of pounds. The collection that she had, which was on the floor, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, I hope I don't kick one and smash one. But so it's not like it's not like a little investment to have more than one bowl.
No, you can get, there's all variations of prices of bowls. So you can start with one. I mean, I started with one. And one bowl is beautiful. It's only if you want to do the harmonies, so if you have a bowl for yourself, you use it in meditation. You use it with intention, because quartz magnifies and amplifies. That's why it's in computers and watches, and it has incredible properties, if you like. So it's an investment if that's what your passion is. I didn't know it was going to be my passion. I stepped out because I paid attention. I brought one in, and then felt into it. Now it's become such a passion, you know, and people laugh because my husband says, let's not talk about bowls for a day. You know, shall we not talk about sound? Because it's, you know, I'm so excited by what's, it's a never ending, growing understanding. I don't understand all of it at all. You know, I don't, it's an experience that you have to feel.
Yeah, absolutely. And
So,
I totally recommend that someone goes to a crystal bowl bath, whatever they call the kind of
sound bath.
A sound
Yeah.
bath, yes, whatever. Absolutely. Now I know, Annie, that not so long ago somebody brought you a chicken meal with your crystal ball. So tell me what happened.
Well, she was actually coming for a sound healing herself. And then I heard her in the car talking, and I thought, I wonder who she's brought. She said, well, may I bring someone else in for healing? Absolutely, bring them in. And she brought the box. There was this big chook. And she'd rescued it off the road. It had, you know, injured its foot. And so she was, you know, she's got such a big heart. So we didn't bring the chicken right into the room because I thought, my God, it's going to freak out with such intense sound. But we had it outside, just outside the healing room, with the door just open. And I kept an eye on it, obviously. And as I played it, and then it went to sleep. I didn't do that. It went to sleep. And then as I played the higher notes, I was observing it, you know, make sure it was all right. It sort of tried to stand up. And she brought it back a second time, 2 weeks later. And this time it tried to stand up and flap. And I said, I think that's, we've done enough. I don't want it flying around the house. You know, it wasn't a small one. But it does soothe. It does soothe every, you know, you don't know what frequency, say, a chicken hears. I don't know that. But I remember our cat would look when I bring another big bowl, her eyes would, you know, go. But she didn't seem to respond to the low notes. She could be quite near the low notes. So it's a big sound wave, but it's the high notes because, of course, animals have that higher sonar. And so, yeah, I've played to the dolphins, and yeah, I love it.
I love it. Your passion is so clear. So have you, apart from the chicken story, and I know you've said that the people come to you because they want to really, really relax in perhaps a way that they haven't done before. Have you got any other stories that are of people experiencing extraordinary healing or extraordinary things happen either during or after having had a sound healing with you?
Oh, I can't think of anything just like that off the top of my head. The most common thing that people will say is at the end of the time, so say after 40 minutes of sound, and, you bring them back, they go, how long was I lying there? Was it, I'm sure I just laid down. The reason being is that your brain waves, in this state, like we're chatting, we're in a beta brainwave, so we're awake. Then we drop into alpha when we're, calm, and then we drop into theta, and that's where you don't remember the time. You've gone into this beautiful space, which is where deep healing happens, for yourself, so inner healing. And that is the most common thing that people will say. Oh, I just laid down. How can I know? You're now saying wake up, wake up. So we've just done a study with teenage boys because one boy came, he was 15 at the time, and he had such profound experience. He wriggled probably for the first 15 minutes because, with the hoodie. But afterwards he said, oh my gosh, I have never experienced this before. I'm so happy. How did you quieten my mind? That was probably one of the most profound things. And coming from a teenager, that's not the easiest age, and so then we've just done a clinical trial with teenagers. Again, boys, not as easy, as girls a bit more, we kind of go with the flow. And so these boys, they were 11 of them, 16-year-olds, and when they came up to the clinical school, they had a yoga mat, but they were only told that they were going to listen to crystal bowls, and they had to fill in a questionnaire. you know, a proper mood state questionnaire. So 24 mood states of depression and anxiety, etc. So they all came in. They were supposed to be quiet, but dream on about that. You know, boys take up space, and you know they kind of sprawl.
Well, you have 3 boys. Well,
I've got 2 boys. Yeah, yeah. So they sprawl around the place, and then I play, and you know, I'm not allowed to speak because it's a trial. And I start playing, and within 10 minutes, Julie, 90% of them were just. It looked like I put a spell on the whole lot. I thought, this is what we need to be doing, teenagers. They've gone from wide awake to calm.
Yeah. Fabulous.
And one of them came out and said to my husband, "Oh my gosh, what happened in there?" You know, from it just showed. And so, yeah, we are following that up, and it has shown an improvement. And if we can get it into schools, that's my passion, is to get it to the schools, to the counsellors, to the teenagers who really need it. Okay. Along with all the other amazing things that they do for mental health and well-being. But imagine a child, a stressed child, of which there are many right now, that they're not having to do anything. It's a passive thing. They can just receive. They just put their headphones on, of which most teenagers have. They've got their phones attached to them the whole time. They're not having to sit there meditating on a mountain. They don't have to think about anything. They allow the vibration to just work quietly, and the brain entrains to the beat. So as the bowls, let's say, if they're slow and there's a pulsing, the brain then starts to entrain into that. And so we want to do lots of research in this. I mean, it's really exciting.
Very exciting. Oops, there's a bit of feedback when I speak sometimes. So I know that you are on Spotify, which is hugely exciting. And obviously, we'll put your links below this video. So people, please check out Annie Jameson. And I know that your intention, Annie, is to have your music go all around the world, which I think is incredible. So tell us why that's important to you, and tell us how far you've got.
The reason that I see it is, and there are many amazing crystal bowl players all around the world. So we're all together. Nothing is about one person, you know, one person. But the vibrations can bring peace to human beings, but also to the earth, and just to I don't know, it's like the crystalline grid. There's energy. It's a vibration. And when there's a good vibration, I don't know, it's just like this, as I thought the other day, it's like a soothing balm of calm. And the more calm people are, like you calm one person, that helps the next person. And it will just ricochet outwards. And that's what I see. A vibration is like that, the sound waves. And just because we don't hear it, you know, as it fades away, it's still a vibration, and it's still going out into the world. Like, we all know what it feels like if you walk into a room and there's been an argument. Yeah. We weren't there, but the energy in the room is, you know, like you could cut it with a knife, you know, and it's actually that. When you put out peaceful vibrations, and, you know, you can have the music on very quietly, it's not a loud thing, it kind of seeps into the room or wherever it is, and outside. So, you know, I play it in the forest, I play it on the beach. It can be embarrassing. It was embarrassing for my teenagers to have the mother out with the bowl. But I remember Ben saying, "Mum, I could hear the sound, even with the waves. You know, it's got a frequency that just cuts through."
Amazing. And I know that I asked you before it was possible for you to play a bowl, but actually the sound wouldn't be very good on this Zoom recording.
No, so yeah, it's better to go and listen properly, and really important either to listen through headphones or earbuds or through speakers, because you'll get the deep notes. If you just hear it through your phone or your computer, it's like, oh, that's not that's not very pleasant.
Yeah.
you can really go into it if you've got proper.
Yeah, so you can actually feel it properly.
And you can feel it if you're out of the room. I do this, you know, if Michael's listening in here and I'm out there faffing about doing the washing or whatever, there's a whole different energy when I walk into the room with that sound. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that one. Absolutely. Of all the things that you've done in your life, Annie, of which there are many, what would you say you're most proud of?
Oh, that's an interesting question. The thing I'm most proud of is that I pay attention and I can listen to the higher energy and to take action. I think that's what I'm most proud of. Yeah, being discerning about where is this idea coming from. So I'm an ideas person, idea a minute, literally. No, I have so many ideas, but it's being discerning of like, where is that coming from? Is that the ego? Is that what, you know, and taking action to make it happen. And so, yeah, on the physical human being level, and the thing I'm most proud of is that my music's on Air New Zealand.
Fabulous, fabulous. One final question. When you are no longer on this planet, how would you like to be remembered?
By my music. Yay. Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I mean, I think that would just be beautiful, that the vibrations are still going on. You know, I've left it there. The planet is still receiving it. It's like there's no ending to it. There's no, yeah. I've given it as a, you know, it's a gift into the world, and when you offer with intention that it will be of service for love and light, you know, that's my intention, then I allow it to be free and it can go where it needs to just bring that calm. That's what I would.
Beautiful. It's been such a joy talking to you, Annie. So all there is.
Thank you, Julie.
Annie Jameson, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Julie.